What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Roger Waters, and we're returning to the pros and cons of hitchhiking. Thank you again to Cyndi. And the next tune, which I think is the final track on side one, were this a record, is The Remains of Our Love, which sounds pained. It sounds like there is an aftermath being assessed, that the love is no longer whole, singular, and intact, but has in fact been shattered, dismantled, or otherwise taken apart, and you are now looking at the fragmented pieces or the remaining bits, though I suppose the phrasing of it is addressing the other person. Of course, you could be talking in your head, you could be reflecting and speaking to them even though they are no longer present, but at the very least it's addressed to another person, and thus they are still in the narrator's mind. Now, again, in the context of a dream-filled experience spanning a handful of minutes in the middle of the morning, I suppose a title like this takes on different connotations, whereas if it were a song on an album, about different relationships, and, we're not talking about this, idiosyncratic series of dreams, then it, I think, would hit different than I'm inclined to read it here. So either way, let's see what it's all about. This is Roger Waters. The tune is The Remains of Our Love from his The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking album, 1984.
I just cowered in the corner, my pajama coat over my head, and she smiled as she finished her sandwich. And her cold eyes fixed me to my dark history. As she brushed the remains of our love from the bed. And when she had turned back the covers, when all of the prayers had been read, she said, "Come on over here, you silly boy, before you catch your death of cold. I was only joking. Let's leave behind the city crime that's not competing, could be fine in the country. Cool it down. Come on, let's go." I said, "Okay. Where would you like to go, darling?" Wyoming. Which way is one? Let's see how all of those pass on the way to our new life in the country.
So yes, it's a bluesy soundscape, which is still ongoing. He's still breathing. Is it over? Is it actually over? It is now. But we very much feel like we're still in someone's head, and there's these echoed voices. It's like he's telling himself a story, but then we're also getting hints about the sounds and the surroundings in real time. It sounds like maybe she said something critical to him, dismissive to him, and he went and sort of covered himself in the corner feeling wounded or isolated or hurt. But then, whether in his dream or coming to in reality, she seemed to take a more sympathetic attitude. Don't you know I was just joking around? Come back over here before you catch a cold. And again, there's like this spacious sound to the sonics. Like there's a large volume, which again makes me wonder whether a lot of this is still in his head, whether or not he's actually dreaming per se. And I enjoy the clock or metronome. It has this like fixed rhythmic quality that's like keeping time, which again, the whole album is framed around this sequence of minutes during a very particular period in the middle of the morning or the middle of the night, very early morning. So it's like you can hear his mental experience and his thoughts and his perceptions, but there's a sense that this is all taking place over a very small amount of time, and we're getting hints of what's happening outside his mind, again, whether or not he's sleeping. And I'm also amused at some of the voices of like, where would you like to go, darling? It's like there's a cheekiness, a comedy to this, even as it has a lot of atmosphere, a bit of psychedelia, and again, this grounded, bluesy feel to it. So, another really interesting song on an album that is itself just this enigma, not like any album I've ever heard before. So, yes, I'm very much enjoying this, and it is an eccentric journey to say the least. Once again, big shout out to Cyndi for sending this and some other material, of course. And when we come back the next time, which, as I said, I think is like the start of part 2, the first track is Go Fishing, which is already very funny and which takes place only a few minutes. This song here was 4:57 a.m. and Go Fishing is at 4:50 a.m. So, yes, it's all working on different levels in the way that, you can dream for a minute and it feels like you experience, hours of interaction and thought and feeling. So yeah, that is really captured in the way this album is framed. In any case, let me know what you think of this, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.